I greet you in Jesus' precious name. I want to speak to you today about something that is so sad and it is so prevalent in all over the world. And that is one word: loneliness. There is nothing worse than loneliness. I know that. You know, I travel a lot, and some people think it's very glamorous and it's wonderful, and it is lovely to meet different people. You know, I stand on the platform or in the pulpit and I speak to large crowds of people, very large crowds of people. But when we are finished, they take us back to a hotel or a bed and breakfast or somebody's home, and they make sure that I've got everything I need, and they say goodnight to me, and the door closes, and I sit in the bedroom all by myself. Because my wife is thousands of kilometers away on the farm Shalom in South Africa. And I want to tell you that sometimes almost kills me, loneliness, because I get very homesick. It sounds ridiculous, a man in his 70s still getting homesick. I get more homesick now than I did when I was young. Why? Because you see, all my life I have been a farmer. And a farmer, when the sun goes down, he goes back to his house. Yes, he plows his fields during the day and he tends his animals. But when the sun goes down, he goes home. And I have been doing that for all my life, since I was a young man. I got married when I just turned 26 years old. And now I'm in a foreign country, in a foreign land, with people I don't know very well. And they are wonderful people, don't get me wrong. And some of them have become my lifelong friends. But when I first meet them and I go to my room, because I like to be on my own, because I need to spend time in prayer and preparation for the next day. So I ask purposely if I can have time on my own. But when I sit in that room, then I understand just a little bit of what Jesus went through in the Garden of Gethsemane. He asked his disciples no less than 3 times, "Can you just pray with me?" And every time he went across to see them, they were sound asleep. I want to say to you folks, that must have really hurt the Lord. The Bible tells us that he went and he prayed on his own to his Father. He was so stressed out because he knew what was coming the next day. He was so concerned that he was actually sweating drops of blood. Now, the doctors will tell you that can happen when a man is under extreme pressure and extreme stress. He looked around, not one of them were there for him. And then when the chief priest soldiers came to arrest Jesus, the Bible tells us, and they all, that's including John, forsook him and fled, all of them, and he stood by himself. Loneliness is a terrible thing. So if I'm talking to some old lady who is now a widow, the husband that you've been married to for 60 years has now gone home to be with Jesus. Or maybe there's an old gentleman, the love of his life has finally faded and she's gone home to be with the Lord. And you are by yourself and you say, "I don't know how I'm going to get through this." There's only one way, and that is to put your hope and your trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. Like never before, you need to increase your time in prayer. Increase your time in fellowship with the Lord. Don't decrease it, increase it. Longer quiet times, more time in prayer. I'm just going to leave you with one verse, that's all. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. The Lord Jesus says, "I will never leave you and I will never forsake you." That is good news. That's something you can get your teeth into. Yes, you must love other people and allow your children to visit you and the old people, but at the end of the day, that's what I've found. That's the only solace I get in that bedroom room by myself, is the fact that Jesus has promised me he will never leave me and he will never forsake me, and he's got my whole family in the palm of his hand. Until the next time, God bless you and goodbye.